Hey everyone, welcome back to Kothcast, the show where we talk about anything and everything. Today's guest is Rysis.
Hi, it's me, Rysis, also known as Sherlock. So,
Everybody has the same reaction. They don't know what to say. So Rysis, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to my audience and, tell everyone who you are and what you do.
well, as I said, I'm Rysis. I also play Sherlock on my YouTube channel, Rysis Hyena. Uh, there's not really much to say. I'm that one that swears a lot and plays the hyena. That's pretty much the beginnings and ends of the channel.
You said you played Sherlock?
Sherlock is the weasel that you'll see with the green hair.
Oh, okay, so you have two characters, basically.
Yeah, some videos will have Rysis, which of course is the big brown hyena, and then you'll have Sherlock, which is the lighter brown weasel with the green hair.
Okay. I've seen a couple of your videos, but I don't think I've seen the Weasel character.
Well, one of them, I don't even know how to explain the characters. One of them I usually use if I know the video is going to be very harsh, and Rysis I normally use when the video is going to be a bit more of a lighter hearted tone.
What do you mean by harsh?
Exaggerated opinions or opinions in general that I know will probably get me in trouble that
Yeah,
people
yeah,
may not be happy with.
right. Yeah, you're one of those other furry YouTubers who talks about things that kind of controversial and like doesn't seem to really give a fuck about anything really, right?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of rare. I mean, there's a couple of us. There's like two Griffin, me, you. I don't even know who else. Like everyone is. A lot of people in the furry fandom are very concerned about their reputation.
Yeah, I think maybe Genesius would be up there because I know he gets himself in some trouble.
Oh yeah, Genesius. Yeah, Genesius is on there on that list too. Corey Coyote, I know, has said some things. I don't know if you watch him at all. He mostly does streams, or at least he is mostly known for his streams.
No, I don't think I've actually even heard of him.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I mean, there is a few YouTubers I haven't heard of. I mean, there's the main ones that you'll hear of, but otherwise, I don't, I've not heard of everyone.
hmm Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. There's a lot of furry YouTubers that I find like every day, and people are like, "Oh, I watch this person," and I'm like, "Who the hell is that?" And I look, and they have like 100,000 subs, and they're a furry YouTuber, and I'm like, how have I never heard of this person?
Yeah, no, that's the biggest surprise is when you find someone that's like up there in subscriber count. You're like, I've never fucking heard of this dude.
Yeah, um, it was with me and Spockter that it was kind of like that. I think he had heard of me, but I had never heard of him, and he has like 50K subs, and he's one of the only other like scalies on YouTube, and he does very similar content to mine, and he even has the kind of like you know avatars that change pose while he's talking, like very similar content to mine. I'd never heard of him until like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, no, well, it's just got me thinking now. I was just thinking when you said the only two scalies, and now I'm like, shit, how can I? No, I think you're right. Unless someone
There's
just doesn't show their character much.
Yeah, Blue the Dragon is another one.
Oh yeah, it's like your twin brother with black hair.
Yeah, yeah. There aren't many scaly YouTubers.
No, in most cases, they'll probably be like a dragon.
hmm
Besides, Kothrix, which is what's Kothrix again? A fucking
Yeah,
serpent.
he's a dragon. Yeah, he's a dragon with
He's a
feathers
dragon.
wings.
Also, he's a snake. These,
Okay.
these, furry characters that are snakes can have arms and legs. Why not?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, shows how much you pay attention to my channel. Thanks.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, so one thing I wanted to talk to you about is now you're Australian, right?
hmm
I've always wanted to visit there because it seems like a really interesting place full of like deadly murder beasts. But what is it like over there?
Um, it's fine. A lot of people talk of the deadly murder beasts, but if you don't bother them, they don't bother you. It's the same deal with like bears and stuff in America. As long as you're not going over there and poking their kids and stuff, they're probably gonna leave you alone.
Oh no, the
Most
grizzly bears will chase you down and kill you for no reason.
yeah, we
It's
don't have
okay. They're
anything
almost
big.
extinct.
we don't have anything big in America. Things seem to be like bears and all
Uh-huh.
that kind of stuff. Everything that can sort of harm you is quite big, I believe. Or
Hmm.
like you know, what do you call them? The bigger no, Canada has moose. What do you guys have? The bloody deers and
Yeah. No, we
all
have.
that kind of stuff where you hit them in your car and you're almost essentially fucked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most
It's
like
the
yeah,
same with
yeah, yeah.
here. I think the only thing how do you say the bloody name of them? Cassowary or something are pretty vicious, fucking savage birds.
Big.
Kangaroos are not fun to hit.
Oh God, I can imagine. How big is a kangaroo anyway? Like what average size?
The ones I've seen are usually it varies. Like Mamaroo ain't gonna be that big, but a boomer's gonna be about the size of you almost.
Boomer.
Um,
What about like 6 feet tall?
I want to say yes. I mean, most of the ones I've never really researched them because I mean, where I live, they basically it's like the stereotype in America. It's like yeah, they
Hmm.
actually do hop around the street.
Yeah. No,
So
we
if you're
have.
walking along and yeah, suddenly a kangaroo just hops on past, like oh, yep, there goes George.
No, all the time here with the deer. Where I live in Virginia anyway, which is kind of south. A deer constantly running back and forth across the road. I want to say I almost hit one probably about once a week, and almost everyone I know has hit at least one. And the good thing is they're not usually that big, so they only kind of
They're
fuck up
very
your car.
bony. They're
Bony.
mostly, but you know what I mean? Like they only got like little thin legs. They're mostly bone. With the kangaroo, it's most like muscle.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, yeah. Deer are kind of spindly, so yeah, it's not the worst thing to hit them, but yeah, there are like elk and moose, which I'm not actually sure what the difference is, but yeah, those ones like you hit them and you hit them and your car explodes and they're perfectly fine. So that's scary.
I like just real quick. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a video on I think it's on YouTube and on Facebook because of course it is. There's that
Hmm.
it's in Canada and there's these bears in this guy's backyard and just sort of goes out. This is like the most Canadian way to say like to get rid of bears. Just goes out there. He's like, you guys gotta go, please. I hope you enjoyed my yard, but you gotta go. Okay, I gotta go to work. And they just like saunter off slowly. I'm just like, what? I just oh, it's the funniest thing when you see just this Canadian guy who's just like, yeah, just, okay, please, can you gotta go, thanks. And they
Oh
just wander
yeah,
off.
the wildlife was pretty crazy when I lived in northern Idaho, which is basically Canada. There were always I live in the mountains, and there's always all kinds of shit in the yard or on the porch. There are bears on the porch. There are mountain lions, which I don't know if you have mountain lions in Australia or any kind of lion.
There's probably some kind of cat, but I've not seen them. They'll be like
Okay,
wildcats, but
well we have like wild lions in,
mm,
in northern Idaho in the mountains. And they're just kind of around. So yeah, I might see a lion. Uh, and there are, bears and raccoons. And the thing with raccoons is they're small, but they're feisty, and they will bite you, and you might get rabies and have to, die or something. But
and have to die.
well, I don't know. I don't know what they do. I mean, if an animal has rabies, you like shoot it in the head, right? I don't know what they do with people. I imagine um, electric chair or something.
And Kothcast got bitten by a raccoon. He's got rabies. We're gonna have to take him behind the barn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Someone said that you have to get like these injections into your stomach or whatever for the rest of your life, which sounds like it sucks, but yeah, rabies are not fun. I think that's the biggest thing. Like around here, we have a lot of where I'm now in Virginia, we have a lot of fox. They're small, they run away, but they also, can carry diseases. So
Oh yeah.
that's about it. We don't have any like giant like cave spiders that want to like eat your pets or whatever you have in Australia.
Most of the stuff is really that's really deadly is small, like a more common one is like the redback spider, which I mean, if you look at history, someone hasn't died from a spider bite in like I don't know 20, 25 years.
Hmm.
Because obviously we have all the what do you call it, the antidote type thing for any poison they give you. Most of the time with a redback, it doesn't. I mean, it's poison, so it is still bad, but it doesn't. Unless you have high blood pressure, it's more going to be an irritation on your skin, and you're going to feel really sick and vomit a lot.
Hmm.
If you do have like high blood pressure, you may have a heart attack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds like redback. Is that Black Widow? Do you guys call it that?
We have black widows. I think they're
Oh,
mostly
okay.
over east, or the
So
funnel
it's
webs are mostly over east, I think, as well.
right. Okay, so Black Widow and redback are different because like the Black Widows also have red, and it's the same symptoms. Like it bites you, you won't die, but you'll feel really sick.
Yeah, it's the same with any poison getting in you, I suppose. Your
Well, I
body's got to
mean,
get
yeah,
rid of it
but
somehow.
right. Well, there's different kinds of poisons and different things. Like
Yeah,
with a brown recluse, which we have here too. They're really small and they bite you, and like the spot where they bite and like around there, the skin will like rot off. But I don't think there's any sort of like sickness, like physical like vomiting and things associated with it. I think some of your skin just rots off, which
it
is
sounds like the
terrifying.
white. Can't remember what it's called. White tip. Can't remember. It's white tip spider or something. That's what it's called here.
Hmm.
I know it's the same one, but yeah, it rots your flesh and yeah.
Kind of terrifying that a tiny little insect that weighs nothing can do that to you, like cause so much damage.
Oh yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I suppose some other dangers people might instantly think of are like crocodiles and
Hmm.
sharks, because Australia is known for having some really beautiful beaches, and of course, what comes with that is some pretty deadly sea
Yeah,
animals.
yeah.
But again, what great whites only kill like what? I think you can count on one hand how many people they kill a year, or it's like 10 maybe.
Hmm.
I mean, when you hear about it, like if someone gets killed by a shark, even if it's like all the way over east, you'll hear about it in the west as well,
Hmm.
because it's not that common.
Right. Yeah, it's like
Crocodiles are the same. Geez, I don't even know what the statistics are for a crocodile, but I mean, Jesus, it's the same deal. As long as you're not going poking around in their home, I don't think they're really going to care if you're there or not.
hmm yeah, it's the same thing. Like you're talking about shark attacks. It's the same thing with airplane crashes. Like maybe one commercial airline crashes every 20 years, but people still freak the hell out about it. Like it happens all the time. People are terrified of flying, and it's like the chances of you getting fucking crashing in an airplane are like lower than dying from a car crash. And people don't fear anything when they get in their car every day.
Yeah, no, it's true. But yeah, it's well. Then again, I mean, there's more vehicles, on the ground than there are in the air, I suppose, and
Hmm.
uh, not. It's a very unnatural feeling. I want to say when you start to fly. I mean, I'm pretty used to it now, but it is still when you first lift, take off. It's still very like jarring, going, from
Hmm.
walking around all the time, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you're in the air now.
Yeah, but like getting back to the animals, it's kind of funny that you mentioned crocodiles and sharks because that's like pretty much all we have here too. We have, I mean, the same thing. We have crocodiles, sharks on the coast, but even like I don't know if there's any crocs here in Virginia, but like a little bit more south, like when you get into like the swamp part of the U.S., is all kinds of crocodiles. Or like you see, people in Florida always have crocodiles in there or alligators. I don't know what the difference is. I think
alligators
what's
are like
what?
alligators are quite small compared to crocodiles.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Crocodiles are fucking huge.
Right. Okay. Well, whatever one they have all the time in Florida, you see. But what about snakes? You have any snakes up there that will like kill you instantly when they bite you?
More than likely, but yeah, I mean, I live basically in the middle of nowhere, and I've not really seen any snakes. I mean, in my entire life, I can count maybe
Hmm.
2 times I've seen snakes.
Really? Wow. Over here, man, I see several snakes a year. Mostly copperheads. Copperheads are these. They're big. They're copper, obviously, and they're venomous, but they won't kill you, which a lot of people think they will, but it's like not. It's like a bad bee sting, and people don't seem to understand that. So everyone's like deathly afraid of them, but they're not even deadly, really. They just, if you're like allergic to it, maybe, or if you're like a child or elderly, maybe. But I don't think anyone's died from a copperhead bite in like 25 years, like you were saying with the spider bites up there.
Yeah, it's the same deal with spider. The same deal with most things with poison. When you're an adult, it's sort of It's still bad, but it won't
Hmm.
affect you as much if you're like 5 years old or if you're like 80 years old.
Right. Yeah, that's So that's interesting. That actually, like, I learned something new today from you that we have the animals here and the animals over there are just as deadly. So maybe it's not that much to worry about.
No, I mean, it's kind of like, geez, I don't know what any of your deserts are called over there. Australia's fine as long as you're not going, like for a walkabout in the bush, then you should be fine.
Mm, right.
But it's the same
Um,
thing with a desert. Just don't go wandering into a desert willy-nilly. It's not the greatest idea.
yeah. Yeah, we have
Unless
plenty
you're an
of
adventurer and you're going to make a YouTube channel out of it.
right Bear Grylls style go into the wilderness and eat some dead rats or something.
Yeah, dead rats. Okay, yeah, not fair enough.
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you about is now this is a kind of a I don't know, hot button issue or whatever is so when over in Australia, what are the gun laws like? Basically, is no one allowed to have a gun? Are they like completely banned or what is
But
it
no,
like there?
they're not completely banned. I think there are some grey area, but most cases you are allowed to have basically no concealable weapons. So pistols are a no, Uzis, all that kind of stuff are a big no.
Hmm.
It's mostly two-handed weapons is
Okay.
more or less the be all end all of it. So
Hmm.
pump action shotgun, double barrel shotgun, nothing automatic.
Okay.
Um, I think I think there's a certain speed that you can have a gun fire with its
Hmm.
fire rate, but otherwise, no, automatic weapons, no.
Hmm. So you guys can have assault rifles over there, like non-automatic assault rifles.
Was it here that I think the police or SWAT or whatever they can. I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure because when I was in Mandra, I saw some. I mean, they weren't. What do we call them? SWAT here, don't we? Jeez, I'm brain dead at the moment. But yeah, they were carrying assault rifles. I don't know if they're automatic, semi-automatic, or what.
Hmm.
But yeah, ever since Port Arthur, it's pretty much set. Yeah, one instant we're like, okay, maybe that's not great for citizens to be having guns.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird here in America because we have so much gun violence and so many like massacres all the time it seems, and everybody's like, "Oh no, it's fine. Where it's good." But I don't know where I really stand on that. Like, I am a gun owner, and I definitely don't want people taking away my gun. But at the same time, it's like I get it why people are like, "Hey, maybe we should do something about this."
Yeah, people are the same here when because I mean, it wasn't like, oh, you're gonna give your gun up, fuck you, that's it. No, it's we're gonna pay you for your gun, in some
Hmm.
cases more than what you paid for to get the gun.
Hmm.
So there's a big buyback sort of, okay, we're gonna buy your gun from you if you trade it into your local police station or whatever. And yeah, so it wasn't just like we take your guns, that's it.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's definitely the way to do it. That's what I think I was talking to two about this exact same thing, and that's what I suggested. If they want to do something here about guns, that's what it needs to be, is that they will buy your guns back from you for more than you paid for them. And so many
but then
people would do
again,
that.
that might mean like, wouldn't that mean the government having to give you money there? And we're
Uh,
talking,
y-
I don't,
yes,
excuse me.
and that people don't trust the government for to do anything here. So if
Yeah,
they
and
were
the other
like,
thing is like I mean, when you think of it, are they really, this American government, are they really gonna want to give you money? I mean, like the healthcare and stuff over there, the homeless issue and shit. It's like they're not gonna give you money for your gun. They're gonna say, no, fuck you, give it back, and then we're gonna sell
yeah.
it to the black market.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. That's a problem because what they would do is they'll be like, "Well, give us your gun now, and then we'll put in the paperwork to get you money, and it might be 5 years before you get it, or you might never get it because they lose the
Yeah,
paperwork, which they do all the time, by the way. They lose your paperwork for everything, and so yeah, it's a really weird
no,
system.
yeah,
Or
no, I'm not entirely surprised that yeah, it's like with the whole mass shooting thing, it's. And when it, if I remember back to like when it was like the Sandy Hook shooting and stuff, everyone was really concerned, that obviously every single shooting fucking sucks balls.
Mhm.
And it's gotten to the point where we'll hear of a shooting, that recent one in the church in Austin, in Texas, was it? In that
Hmm.
church?
Yeah.
Here I told people, I was telling people at work, oh, did you hear about that mass shooting in America? And they're like, what, another one? And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gone from that reaction of, oh my God, really, to that reaction of, oh, okay, another one. So
Right.
now it's
Yeah.
got to the point where we're sitting here like, I wonder what the biggest one will be next year. Because it's like, well,
Yeah.
we've already tried giving opinions and stuff, and most people say, no, fuck you, we like our guns. And we're like, okay, we'll
Yeah.
see
That's
you
the
next
thing
time
is,
someone kills another 50 people.
it's like that's the thing about the U.S. is with the guns. It's part of our culture. Everyone has guns, and a lot of times your like masculinity is measured by how many guns you have.
I never understood that. A lot of people like guns are so cool, and I'm just like, when it comes to like a fight, firefights are cool, especially if it's in a movie that's really done well or whatever, right?
Hmm.
But when it comes to both real life and sometimes in movies, I'd like to see people just getting a big fucking punch up. There's something more personal than, everyone can fire a gun. Old Granny Smith down the road, who's like 99, can fire a gun.
Hmm.
It takes real. I think it takes real. I don't know. It's like a fist fight is like real human like brutality, going up to someone and laying your hands on them to do incredible harm to them. Is just something so much more brutal and like animalistic about it. I guess it's much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think if
It's
you want to
much
look like a
cooler,
man, getting a
basically.
it's a lot cooler. It's like if you want to get into a fight with someone, put down the pussy ass gun and get into a goddamn fist fight.
Yeah, but that's the fucked up thing about the U.S. Here in Virginia, we have like stand your ground. I can't remember what it's called. It's either stand your ground or protect your castle laws, where if someone breaks into your house or sometimes even threatens you, there's kind of gray areas. You can just shoot them and kill them, right? And that's it. That it's done. You can do that. But at the same time, non-lethal weapons but like police batons, I mean, other than the police batons and like nunchucks and any kind of like martial arts weapons, those are banned. Can't have those. Can't have knuckles. Or brass knuckles. Can't use non-lethal methods to take down an opponent who's threatening you. Nope. But you can shoot him in the head. That's perfectly fine.
Well, so you can't have a baton, you said.
Yeah, can't have a baton.
Well, that baton can be lethal. You might need to hit him a few times, but it can be lethal.
Right, but it's like I'd rather carry a baton, in my pocket or on my belt to defend myself than a gun, because like I don't want to kill someone else, but at the same time, I do want to like be able to protect myself somehow,
Break their fucking legs. Yeah.
Well, they don't even break their legs. Just, I mean, the way that these
Do it for
batons
the
are
fun
made
of it. You
is
won't get another chance.
the way these batons are made is they're like a hollow metal, so it just hurts a lot. It doesn't. I don't think they're designed to break bones. I may be wrong on that, but from what I remember when I was reading about them, is I don't think they're designed to break bones, but they just hurt a lot. It's like a yeah, and so yeah, it's really dumb too. Like
I suppose that's why a
shuriken,
lot of people might have a bat. I think
a
that's a
bat.
classic one. Yeah,
Yeah,
bat.
yeah. People have bats. Yeah, people have bats here because that's like one of the only things that is legal. That's like a beat stick, like a non-lethal way to
It's cheap. It has two uses or multiple uses. You can play you
uses.
can play ball with little Jim, or you can bash someone's fucking skull in.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh my God, you should see my dad has a baseball bat where he put a bunch of nails through it, so it's just a death stick.
That's fucking awesome. I want to do
Yeah.
that. It's not easy
Yeah.
to do either. You'd think, oh yeah, just hammer nails into it. It's like apparently that's not how you do it because that'll split the bat. You got to like
Hmm.
drill into it and
Yep.
then add in the nails.
Yep. You got a pre-drill. And yeah, so that's pretty nuts. But he says it's his zombie apocalypse weapon. He's one of those preppers. You know what those are?
Yep.
Yep. You have those over there too, then?
No, I've just seen the TV shows
Oh, okay.
about the Americans doing it.
Yeah, he's straight off of one of those TV shows. He has like months worth of like dehydrated food and full like cases and cases of like anti-radiation gear and like all this shit and of course guns and ammo and just like everything imaginable like to survive a nuclear zombie apocalypse and he's like fully convinced that it's going to happen in his lifetime.
Well, I mean, I mean, at this point in time with the nuclear apocalypse thing, I think at this point in time, whether you're a prepper or not, we're probably all gonna fucking die. In Australia, we're like, oh, well, they can't hit Australia, or at least not, West Australia, they can't hit that, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but all that, if there is something like that, normally it's like if they fire, we fire, everyone fires, that kind of shit. If it's like that,
Mhm.
then all that radiation has to go somewhere. And then
Yeah,
that will lead into a nuclear winter, and you can't really grow crops or anything during that. So, and it
yeah.
lasts a while. So,
I'm really not sure, like how exactly that all works because I've read things. People here in the U.S. are like highly conspiratorial. Like you have the preppers, and then you can go to websites, and it will be like, okay, if a nuclear like blast of this size happened in this town, would you survive if you're like in this town over? And from what I've seen, like I live next to Washington D.C., which is like a prime target for
yeah.
getting nuked, right? And from what I've seen, based on like wind currents and things, even though I'm only like 45 minutes away, I'd be perfectly fine. And it'd just be like Maryland, that would be totally fucked. Like places north of me, just from based on like wind currents and things. But
Oh, well,
so
I
I
mean,
don't
when it's
know.
one, I mean, you got to think of like how the
Hmm.
surroundings of Hiroshima and stuff were. We got Godzilla from that shit. um, no, but it's when it's like multiple nuclear bombs going off like across the
Hmm.
globe that will really. I mean, the world itself, it'll heal. It'll take like a couple of massive 100 years, but it will heal. But we would not.
I think.
But I mean, we'll have our conspiracy theorists and stuff here,
Hmm.
but most of us are just like, at least the people I've talked to is like, we don't think it's going to happen. Those who do, it's like, if it happens, it happens. Just the
Right.
total acceptance of like,
That's-
at least I don't have to die alone.
well, like, yeah, that's the thing is like, who's gonna nuke Australia anyway? And like you said, yeah, there'd be radiation and shit, and I'm sure you guys, uh, need your imports too, so that would be a problem. But
Yeah, China's one of our biggest imports.
oh yeah, well, China's everybody's thing. I mean, the thing that we have to worry about mostly is North Korea, and I'm not even sure, here in the U.S. anyway, at the moment, it's North Korea, and I'm not even sure what their capabilities are. Like, probably not much. From what I've heard, North Korea is kind of a shithole that has
Yeah.
like nothing. So
Yeah,
who even
little
knows?
what's Trump call him? Fucking Rocket Man or whatever he said about him.
Rocket Man, yeah,
Yeah,
Rocket Man.
little Rocket Man can fire off as many missiles as he want, but from what I'm told, North Korea's like military thing it's not like it's hey, the Nazis rising up and that kind of thing where it's like holy shit, where did this come from? No, it's like North Korea's like okay, just some dudes with guns,
Yeah,
most of them
just
with
you.
like real sicknesses and all this kind of shit, and almost everyone doesn't like North Korea.
Hmm. Right, yeah, exactly.
And
So
like South Korea, just like we're not related. We're separate. We're actually different. They don't even. I think I watched a documentary once. A guy they went
Mhm.
to North Korea, but there was so much they were not allowed to film. And even then, if you could film, there's a structure or a painting or whatever of the Kim Jong Un or whatever. If you're even like a fraction in front of him in the picture, you'd like guards would come over and be like, right, you have to move, and they would come over with
Mm.
guns drawn and everything, asking you to move out of the way.
Yeah, real bizarre.
It's like, wow. I mean, oh my God, there's poor people that live in that country.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you have like one guy who doesn't really know what he's doing, it seems like, and it's just like, fuck, how do I run a country? Like, I just imagine if you became the like ruler of a country all of a sudden, like, what would you even do? It's just like, fuck, I don't know. I guess make people not be bad to each other. Just take their guns away. It's like, what do you even do?
I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean, of course, you ask anyone, the unrealistic answer would be to make everything cheaper, free medical and all that kind of thing. But we know in the reality that's just not entirely
Right,
possible, sadly
right.
enough. It's one of those things where you got to think about where you're like, you may live in a town like if you live in like, I don't know, Redfern here, I guess, or Detroit over there, and you're like, man, this kind of sucks. Like, I mean, you could be in North Korea, or I mean, at least North Korea has like nice buildings. Some of those
Mm,
people, like some of the buildings and locations there are beautiful, but or we could be somewhere like Africa where there's like child soldiers and
nothing.
stuff. It's like it
Yeah.
could be, you got to think it could be worse. So it kind of gives you the drive to sort of think, okay, it sucks, but it could be worse, and you can make the situation better. So you
Mm.
got to. It's one of those things where you got to think of the worst to make the best of like that moment, I guess.
Yeah, it's all about perspective.
Yeah, it's kind of like that's actually a good point. I can't remember where I saw it, but when you say something to someone like, "Oh, for example, oh, my mother died," and in most cases, somebody will go up to you, "Oh man, I remember when my mum or my dad died," and it's always that one of like, why do I think they, people bring it up to be like, okay, I can relate, and also it's not the worst thing, it gets better.
Hmm.
It's it's interesting to think of it when you think of it. It's like, why are you mentioning that? I'm thinking about me right now. But it's like, yeah, it gets better. This person's like proof. You'll get over it.
Yeah, yeah. That's well. I think I understand what you're talking about. A lot of times when people come to you and they have a problem, they don't want to hear. They don't want a solution. They don't want to hear you empathizing with them. They just want to vent,
Mm,
right? They just want to tell you things that are happening to them because they need to get it off their chest. And I totally understand that people getting upset when you try to empathize with them because it's kind of you're kind of saying, like you said, oh, it's not that bad. Like
yeah,
this
and
happens to people. It's not that bad, and they don't like that.
yeah, I, it's weird. It goes either way. It's like this person will either take it the wrong way and say, hey, f you, fuck you, I'm thinking of me right now, or they'll sympathize and think, oh, and start to feel better. It
Hmm.
really depends on the person. I think if like I think I'm one of those people that's like just let me cry for a bit and I'll be fine.
Mm.
Just leave me for a good 10 minutes. I'll get back with you.
Oh, well, yeah, that's one way to do it. It's you
Yeah,
know,
sort of go to your own room, sort of thing. Go to your own little area and just be like, okay, yeah, by yourself.
as another YouTuber, or I guess as a YouTuber in general, a lot of people watch you, and a lot of the audience of YouTube are kids. So do you ever get kids coming up to you and asking you about life stuff?
Uh, no,
No?
no, a lot, Matt. I don't know, like a massive portion. I mean, then again, I would say a massive portion of my audience is adults. Like, what was it? Like a
Hmm.
good near 90% of it is over 18.
Oh, really?
But then again, I mean, like, I don't know about you, but when I was under 18, I just said I was 18 so I could see all the good shit. So I might just be that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I mean,
Huh.
I have had people come up to me and say, they like the attitude of my videos, the real not give a shit type approach I take, and they think it's really admirable and this sort of thing. I've had issues in my life where I'm really concerned me, and then I watch your stuff. I'm like, why do I even give a shit? It's much easier to just, you know, I- it's a hard rule to follow.
Hmm.
Really, like I mean, I can sit here and say, oh no, I don't give a fuck about anything, but there are going to be things and days where I'll be affected by something or I'll be upset. It's like it's just gonna happen. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I've had some people come up to me and say, oh, I appreciate your videos. I like the direction you're taking. I like this. I like that. And the well, the whole usual spiel of, oh yeah, I'm thinking of like 20 different people at once. What's a recent one? A recent one, yes, that I really appreciate the video I did recently. I've got a few
Hmm.
comments, good comments on that about, um not being too shy at a con, or someone sitting by themselves, you go chat to them, and a lot of people appreciate it. I said that, and I think it is a rule that should be talked about more. Most of the time when you hear about rules, the first thing that comes up is, oh, make sure you sleep, make sure you eat, and I mean, obviously those are important things to do, but I think another
Make
one
sure
that
you
should,
sleep and eat.
yeah, just do both.
Make sure you take a fucking shower. Well, I
Uh,
guess if you're wearing a fursuit, then you can't smell them anyway, right?
oh, no, you certainly can. There's, but you know what I mean? I think it's another rule that should be pushed is that, if you see someone sitting alone at a convention, you should go up and talk to him because could be a new best friend sitting right there. You never know.
Hmm.
Um, but real quick, I want to talk about the BO issue. The first furry convention I went to, Furwag, was this
Uh-huh.
2015. It's when I first got Rysis. Yeah, walk around. At first, I was fine. What was it the final day? And there was like the closing ceremony thing, and it was in its own room. And as soon as I walked in there, I was like walking into a wall of BO, and I was like,
Oh.
oh my god. It's what's the 61? 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, and one shower, right? And I'm just like, what? That's fucking retarded. You're not paying for the water bill at the hotel unless it's a really backwards hotel.
Hmm.
Have as many showers as you bloody want. I do. I have my regular shower morning and night, and then I have a shower before and after I suit. Uh,
Wait, who is making this rule about only one shower?
no, that's the one that's written sort of Kage brought it up. The 6-2-1 rule: 6 hours of 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, and one shower. Uh, that's
Oh,
the
is that
common
minimum?
one.
Is that
Yeah,
You're saying minimum? Oh, okay.
that is the minimum, and a lot of that's the one that a lot of people remember and tend to bring up.
Hmm.
And I'm just don't just have one shower, please. You're not paying the water bill for the hotel. They sort that out. You're paying. Hotel rooms aren't cheap. You're paying X amount for a room.
Hmm.
Use as much water as you can. I bloody do.
Yeah, and plus, it's a giant hotel. They're equipped to handle that. Like that's what they're for.
Exactly. That's what, especially at convention centers and stuff. So that is its purpose. You know,
Right.
to accompany everyone's needs, even if it's all at once or or whatever.
Yeah, I would say, do your shower in the morning, obviously, and then
Hmm.
when you get back from a day at the con walking around your first or whatever, you're gonna be sweaty and smelly. Take another shower, get into your normal clothes, and then do your, whatever like afternoon and night activities,
Yeah,
which go when you go
and
drinking or whatever.
like, please, like, use deodorant. Some people may say, "Oh, but I don't like the spray." And well, there is roll-on deodorant.
Yeah, don't use spray. Spray sucks. I don't like it either. Use
But
the roll. Yeah,
use the roll-on. And it's not difficult.
um
What do you call it? Those things that automatically spray out the nice scent every however many minutes. Have like a metric
yeah.
shitload of them set up at a convention before a furry convention.
Well, like I mean, I used to go to big Magic the Gathering tournaments, and it's kind of the same problem where it might be like a all day event or like a 2 day event, and people will be smelly as hell, and they would just kick you out if you smell bad. They would just tell you to leave.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, that they
You're smell shaming, bro.
smell shaming, yeah, and they just tell you to leave. And the other thing was, me and my friend were, we never did this, but we had a joke where we were like, all right, let's go there and sell deodorant and belts because people, for whatever reason, I guess since you're sitting down for like hours at a time playing cards, your like pants drift down, so people's butt cracks would always be showing, and there'd just be like a row of butt cracks, and like nobody would wear their belts, so we'd sell belts and deodorant sticks.
Oh, that's great. I think there was a convention. I don't know. I think it was a gaming convention, and right at the
Hmm.
entrance, people were handing out like small deodorant things to people as they entered the
Yeah,
building.
yeah,
I feel
definitely.
next time there's a furry con, I'm gonna do that shit and put it for a video. I'm gonna help everybody with the BO issue and just stand at the entrance, buy a shitload of deodorant and hand it out.
Hmm. Well, you get like a little like package when you first get into the convention anyway, right? Like a little bag full of shit.
Yes, yes.
So they should have just a little thing of deodorant in there. Like I'm pretty sure. Uh, yeah, pretty sure that they could buy a giant box for pretty cheap of those like travel sized deodorants.
Yeah, especially if
Even
you're
if it,
buying them in bulk, a lot of places will be like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
we'll try and cut you a deal, beans as you're going to be buying like upwards of 1,000 of them."
yeah, and they're not even $1 each, so it'd be like add $1 to the cost of admission, but then everyone gets deodorant like that. I'd do that. I mean, I'd go to a convention that was like that, you know.
Yeah, as soon as I go to a convention, if it's one I have to fly to, I'll find the nearest shop, where it's a little mini mart type thing or a
Hmm.
petrol station, and I'll get some deodorant. I'll just get a small one. I'll
Hmm.
share it around because I'm not going to use a whole can at the convention, so I thought, hey, I'll
A
share it around.
can, man, the spray shit is shitty. Don't use that. Use the roll
It's
on.
done me pretty well so far.
No, nope,
Yep.
it's bad. Don't use it.
Well, I've had no complaints unless people see I'm a hyena and they're just like, it's supposed to smell that way.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh man. You know what the worst part about body odor is when you go into a room and it's like, that's either like really bad BO or some like really tasty stew.
What?
You don't know? You've never had that happen?
No, I just think it smells like shit.
It smells like beef stew sometimes.
No.
'Cause-
I walk into a room, the first thing isn't like, I wonder I wonder if that's beef stew. I'm like, no, a lot of these cunts aren't having a shower.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes yeah, it's definitely body odor, but other times I don't know. I've been like, well, I think it's body odor, but it actually doesn't smell that bad. It just smells like stew, which kind of smells like body odor because it's just like meat with salt in it, which is like sweat, So
Don't know what beef stew you've been sniffing.
yeah, a beef stew. I mean, you can always think about it like that.
Oh man, American politics looks pretty interesting, at least from the videos and news, what the news shows. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh man, just some of the protests that go on. Oh my god. And I just, this isn't, I don't want to get too into it because I don't know much about my own Australian politics, mostly because they don't
Mhm.
fucking do anything. But the this is outside of politics as well. Is when someone's has a point of saying, random example, Trump should be in trouble for this or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, so why don't you like Trump? Oh, he's done this, and you're like, okay, what was the thing that he did? And they're like, oh, hey, fuck you, I don't want to talk to you. And it's like, it, you can't just. That's not how you cover up an argument, friend. You know what I
Yeah, no, I
mean?
know exactly what you're talking about.
You can't just
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
what do you think of this person?" or "What do you think of this movie?" or whatever, and go, "Oh, shit," and just like, "Okay, why was it shit?" It was shit. And it's like, that what? That's not how that
Yeah,
works.
there are people who were like, I remember talking to people about this before Trump was elected and talking to people. You know when the whole grab her by the pussy story came out?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so people were saying like Trump molested these girls and he'd be like, "Well, how, like when did that happen? What are you talking about?" He's like, "No, I know that he molested some girls." And it's like that's not even what happened. He made a joke at one point. Like when it was like 15 years ago. He made a joke about grabbing, and it wasn't even like a rapey joke. It was like, they will let you grab them by the pussy because you're famous, and it's like, he's got a fucking point there. Uh, and it's a joke, but it's not. I don't know. It was just
I
so
mean,
dumb. That
well,
whole thing
lest we
was so
forget, there's
dumb.
like a celebrity per week getting in trouble for sex,
Oh
allegations
yeah,
and shit now.
yeah.
Like, goddamn.
That's interesting. I mean, that's been going on forever, and everybody knew about it, but now suddenly it's like a big deal. Now it's bad.
One
No
person
one.
did it with Kevin Spacey, and then every
Uh-huh.
motherfucker's coming out with it. I absolutely support people coming out about it. And it's like, guys,
Yeah.
try and do it ASAP instead of leaving it 30
Right.
years later when this
Yeah,
person is
that's the
now
thing.
really goddamn rich.
I don't understand that at all, and it makes me think that they're not telling the truth when they're like, "Why
And
I didn't say anything," and it's like,
I know the argument will be like, oh, because they were scared. And I kind of get that. I mean,
mm,
it's not like it's the dude next door. If it's like someone like Kevin Spacey, they're going to be really fucking rich and they're really well known, and a lot of people like this person. So you come out
mhm.
about that, and everyone's going to be like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? You're going to feel like public enemy number one.
Well, yeah, maybe, right? Yeah, maybe in like the 80s or something, but recent years, like since 2000, early 2000s, when the whole like super liberal, like sensitive, like feminist movement started again. that's like, why would you not come out with it then when it was the thing, like that was the thing to do, right? And now it's like 10 years after that people are coming out about it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
It's like I understand not coming about it at first when nobody cared because it was the 80s, but now it's like 2005 or whatever, and they don't come out about it until now, 10 or whatever, 12 years later, however long it's been. Uh, it's just really weird to me. Like, why not? Everyone
I think
believes
it's
you
still.
now.
I think it still comes about as like fear. I think. I
Hmm.
mean, again, everyone. If you're just Joe Dirt or whatever, and then you're going against someone very well known and very well respected, more or less. They're going to take their side first and foremost. Because
I don't know.
you could be seen as someone, hey, you're only just trying to get money from this person
I
because they're rich.
I don't know. I don't think so. Not today. When you come out about someone, everyone instantly believes you. If you're a woman and you say, so and so molested me, people just believe you.
Oh, true. And yeah, that is a thing that does happen, sadly enough. And
Hmm.
it's when so many people will lie about it. And a lot of cases, yes, some of these people are actually lying. I mean, in
Hmm.
proven cases, but that's when it becomes those people just yeah, it ruins the entire thing because now every person will be doubted. It won't be like we need to look into this seriously. It'll be like I don't know.
Well, the problem is that it's basically impossible to prove or
Yeah.
disprove. If someone molested me 30 years ago, like what possible proof do you have? Did you like unless you recorded it at the time, what possible proof do you have? And that's the problem. So it's like rape. Rape is really hard to prove,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because if you have a sample done and there's like, okay, this guy's like semen is in you, but who's to say you didn't just have sex and then decided that you were gonna say,
I mean,
uh,
I think when it comes to investigations and stuff,
uh-huh.
particularly in that area, there is a difference between consenting sex and just someone being raped. I don't know the full details, obviously, but there
Uh-huh.
is ways to be able to tell, okay, well, this is obviously wasn't wanted. There's like bruises and all that kind of thing. There's scratch marks.
Yeah,
There's
right. If there's bruises, but then you can have people who don't fight, or it's kind of a you're thinking about like brutal rape. I'm talking about like a lot of the time it's not. I think they would call it like date rape, where it's you don't want to have sex, but they kind of like are really pushy about it.
okay.
And then you end up having sex, and it's like semi-consensual. Like you're not fighting them, but at the same time you don't want to do it. And that's like
Yeah.
a huge gray area. Like how do you even classify that? Like you can't prove that it was rape and it was, maybe the guy thought that it wasn't rape because you said yes, or at least you didn't say no, or at least you weren't very vocal about saying no. I don't know. So it's like how do you prove that? And it's a who he said she said type of situation. It's like how what do you even do?
I don't. Yeah. It's definitely a tough one, but for the ladies, if someone's planning to rape you, give them a good swift kick in the balls. That'll put them down
That's,
really quick. Even
well, they
if
have a new.
or just go with the flow, right? Act all sexual, like, oh, okay, yeah, I do want this, and even though you said no, just get into it, grab him by the balls, and just squeeze as hard as you fucking can. That'll stop him really quick.
They have a new thing. It's like in like a female condom that has like sharp plastic teeth on the inside of it.
Oh my god.
It's like an anti-rape thing. So
Oh,
yeah, there's that too.
oh my god. Yeah, I know. I've heard about that. Oh my god. I don't. One thing I thought was, I mean, it's the story itself aside, what happened was really funny. How it's like, oh, Kevin Spacey, this guy said you that came onto him sexually, and Kevin Spacey's just like fucking, like just like I'm gay. Oh, okay.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that try to like
what?
throw.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, that was
Coming on to this dude, look, this teenage or however old he was boy. What are you? What? Oh, I'm a faggot. It's all good. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
No, well, it was a
Thanks.
political move because basically he wanted to. earn points with like the liberals, I guess, right? Because it's mainly the like very liberal people who are kind of like freaking out about the molesting allegations and everything. Um, right? Because mostly liberals are the kind of like listen and believe sort of people, and the conservatives are like the innocent until proven guilty type people. You know what I mean?
Mm,
You
yeah.
have any idea what I'm talking about?
Yeah, more or less. Politics, I don't follow that hard. I mean, I know there's going to be a
Okay.
side that's more doubtful than the other. Yeah, I
Hmm.
know there's going to be the strong differences, but I
Well,
just thought
he
the
was.
situation was funny. Just how he went about it was so.
Yeah.
I know what the read like. He's trying to throw everyone a curveball or some shit, right? But
Well, he's trying to
it's just
earn
how
points with the
it's.
liberals. Yeah.
It's just so funny to hear that. It's like the first story was on Twitter. It said about Kevin Spacey, and then I refreshed the page. Like, oh, is there more info on this? And I refreshed the page, and the next one's Kevin Spacey's gay, and I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing was that because he said that, he could channel the outrage about the molestation accusations. He could channel that into like spinning a narrative that people were mad because he was gay. Right? People are mad at Kevin Spacey because he's gay. Why is everyone so mad at Kevin Spacey for being gay? I thought we lived in, modern
Yeah, why
liberal
is everyone so
America.
mad? I thought he was pretty good in House of Cards. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a so that was that was like a calculated thing on his part, but I don't think it
I didn't think
worked
it was
very
calculated. It
well.
was just instant, like, I'm gay.
Oh, that's what I mean. It was like full damage control. It was damage control. That's what you do. If you because with and I don't want to say, I have liberal viewers. I think most of the furry community is liberal. So when I say liberal, I'm not talking about the like normal liberals. I'm talking about like the far left screaming
Yeah, the ones that don't
feminist.
want to talk about the situation. We don't want to discuss with you. We're right, you're wrong. Fuck you, type people.
Right. Right, exactly. With these people, these ultra like leftists, I guess I'll call them, there's something called a progressive stack. Do you know what that is?
No.
Oh God, it's hard to explain. The progressive stack is basically the more oppressed or the more perceived oppression that you have, the more important you are, right?
Oh, okay.
So, if you're a woman, you're more important than a man. If you're a black woman, you're even more important. If you're a disabled black woman, you're like,
The pinnacle.
disabled Muslim, black transgender woman. You're like the queen of the leftists. And so that's one of the things. Like by saying he's gay, he's like, well, like that's sympathy points, basically. If I was going to say, a lot of people will do that too. Like, they'll say, well, I'm trans now. Like they do something bad, and then they're, well, I'm trans, and then people are like, oh, okay, well, since you're trans, it's okay.
Yeah.
You've had a hard life.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, no. Yeah, no. You hear that quite often. It's like, oh, what was it? There was like, on the crime investigation channel, there was like a thing with this dude,
Hmm.
murdered this older, old man and woman, beat them to
Hmm.
death with a fucking hammer.
Mm.
Which that's a pretty brutal way to kill someone. He's just like, and then in court they're just like, oh, he was brought up in the streets, he had a hard life, and I'm like, so he beat someone to death with a fucking hammer?
Yeah, no, I don't get it.
That's just
I
the connection. There's like, oh, I may have gotten a bad grade in school. I didn't exactly go out and stab someone.
Yeah, I don't know what the. It's hard to say, and people bring that up. I wonder if it's the whole nature versus nurture argument. Because is this the kind of person who would beat you with a hammer no matter how they were raised, or is it because how they were raised? Uh,
Yeah, I think
like, would they be like a normal, like functioning member of society if they hadn't been on the streets? Because like for me, I grew up in northern Idaho, very very poor. We didn't have running water. We didn't have electricity. We had a generator, which was expensive to run. So most of the time we didn't have electricity. No running water, no cable TV, no internet. We kind of had like a farm. We had to grow most of our own food because we didn't have any money. And that was my life for like the first 12 years of my life. And somehow I didn't end up as a like serial killer, like thief, murderer or something.
No, yeah, yeah, the connections just it's so I don't get it. It's yeah, you got to wonder how some of these lawyers defend some of these people. I wonder if the lawyer, like, it's their job to defend them. I get that, but you got to
Uh-huh.
wonder sometimes when it's like, okay, well, Mister Whoever, you have to defend random extreme example. Oh no, you have to defend Ted Bundy or some shit. And it's like part of this guy's head must be thinking, "No, fuck this guy, take him down."
Oh yeah, well lawyers are, they're hired to do a job, and that job is to get this person off of the charges or get them the best deal possible. So I don't think it's not really you don't think of it as a moral thing.
No,
Think of
I
it
was gonna
as
say you'd
just
have to
a
figure out your morals. It's like, oh, defend this guy,
Mhm.
and then they go out and like kill a bunch of people. It's like, does that person even feel bad they let them go, or are they just like, nah, I got money?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you want to be successful in your life, you have to kind of give up on having morals. That's just how it is. And nobody rich, unless they got lucky. Some people just get lucky, but nobody rich, nobody in a high position in anything got there by like being nice and watching out for other people above themselves. You
Yeah,
like in business, you know, it's competitive. You have to step on others. Everyone is a stepping stone to get to serve you.
yeah,
Even YouTube even is a little bit like that. It's not quite as ruthless because it's not really like I don't see other YouTubers as like my direct competitors exactly. It's still a little bit like there are people who I think might make good podcast guests, but they don't have many subscribers or whatever, or they don't have much of a following. So it's like it's not worth my time to have them because the main reason to do these kind of like collabs and stuff is to like share audiences, right?
yeah. Um, Uh, I don't know if a different train of thought for me would be like I just like talking to people. So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
if it's someone that I really enjoy talking to who may not even have a YouTube channel, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, bring them in because
Uh-huh.
just because they're fun and they bring
Yeah.
personality and spice. I think that can be a thing. I mean, like, what was it? You think of a good example would be like, the Baited podcast with Keemstar and them on. You know,
Uh-huh.
we all know he's very well known, and so is Colossal is crazy. But the other bloke, when they started off anyway, this dude only had like, I can't remember his name, but he only had like 1,000 subscribers. He's next to someone
Uh-huh.
with like, 1 million and someone else with like, you know, a couple of million subscribers. It's just like what this person brings to the table, I suppose.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm
Well,
trying to
yeah,
say.
but even that. Right, and that's what I'm saying. It is about what they bring, and for a lot of people, what they bring is an audience. But there are other people like that can bring something else. Like I interviewed or not interviews. I did a podcast with Gears, one of my friends, because I knew that he would be interesting to talk to, and he has like a very relaxed voice, and people would like that podcast. Right, he wasn't bringing an audience in, but he was going to kind of like retain people with him talking, and it would be interesting for people to listen to that. I'm not going to have people, I'm not going to make videos about people or have like people on the podcast that are not at least interesting to talk to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I suppose it's the same if I'm gonna do a video on someone. Like,
Uh-huh.
sometimes it's random, sometimes it's like, I'm not gonna like. I wouldn't do a video on someone like Forks because there's nothing really to talk about. The dude's fine. He hasn't done anything shady. His videos are fine, entertaining. He has a good mashup of videos, skits, regular talk videos, con videos. So there's not really anything to talk about. So it's like someone says, "Oh, you should do a critique video on Forks." I'm just like, oh, it'd be me sitting there for about 20 seconds going, He's pretty good, and that's it. There's nothing else to say. But just
Right, yeah.
I need someone who's, I can actually have things to say about like Rusty Rex or Majira or Rage Hound, where I can be like, oh well, this could be improved, this could be improved. Or in the case of
Mhm.
Genesius, just fucking pick apart their bullshit.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's what it comes down to. Is people think like, oh, you just make videos about whatever you want, but you don't. Yeah, it's calculated. You have to uh, decide. You have to find things that people are going to care about, or find, in case of a podcast, find people who are going to bring something to the table to make a video with. Otherwise, it's not worth the time. You only have so much time in the day, and if your goal is to grow your YouTube channel, you have to make choices. And I guess what I'm getting at is it's the same way in like real life. I mean, as much as YouTube isn't real life, I don't know, but it it's the same thing outside of YouTube. You just have to be kind of like you can't always do the thing that you think is the most right. You have to do the thing that helps you reach your goal.
Yeah, no, it's I get it, but opposed to what some other people may think of me, I actually have I actually have a good heart in me, and I'm just like I don't like thinking that way. I'm just like no, I'm like man,
Hmm.
everyone's cool to me, opposed to some of the stuff I'll say. I'm just like I'm chill as fuck. I mean, if some people like, oh, make fun of Mercedes or make fun of Babyface. I'm just like, I mean, I'll exaggerate the point for entertainment and comedy's sake, but otherwise, I don't really give a fuck. Let them. I
Hmm.
don't. And and let them do their thing. But I do appreciate when I see a larger YouTuber collaborating with someone who's like minuscule, like like
Hmm.
1K or lower. When it's that kind of thing, I really it makes them look like they're decent. At least on
Yeah,
on the face of it, it makes them look like they're decent.
but even that is a facade. Like that's. I mean, I don't know. I can't talk for everyone, but I mean, I can see it very easily being like if someone was accusing you of being an elitist and only talking to people who were like, bigger than you or around your size, and then you're like, well, okay, I'll prove them wrong, and then you talk to someone who's smaller, like that's just that's also self-serving, right? Even if it appears to be something out of kindness, it's self-serving. So it's like,
Yeah, it's just like a lesser of the. I want to. It's probably the wrong thing to say. Lesser of the two evils type of deal, but not. You know what I mean? Not to that bad of an
well, that's the
extent,
thing.
but
All the choices are morally ambiguous, so it's like, well, which one do I do?
yeah,
Yeah.
I, I suppose it's weird coming from me because I'm usually the one that's making fun of other people, um,
Hmm.
or their content, but I'm just like I do it just because it's fun. Because
Hmm.
I do a I have an actual job. I have my 9 to 5 job, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that sucks.
nah, I don't know. I've in this town, I was just raised to understand that working hard is just how you get things in life. And to me, YouTube
Hmm.
really is something I do for fun. It's like, oh yeah, I have the Patreon thing, which I completely parodied and took the absolute piss out of, and people still I have like 3 or 4 people that are giving me money for some reason, even though I'm like, well, I'm probably
Hmm.
going to use this money for alcohol and getting drunk, so
Oh
not
yeah,
to
I
even
mean,
further extend anything. I'm just probably going to buy alcohol and get pissed. But
yeah, I always say that
it,
any money people give me is going toward Taco Bell, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. Otherwise, I'm just like, if I was getting more money, I'd probably give most of it to charity because I'm just like, I don't need it. Like, if I was one of those
Huh.
people who was getting a crap load of money, I have one of the things on Patreon. I read there is what a $50 tier or whatever. I say, what the
Hmm.
fuck are you doing? Just give it to charity. Just straight up, like, what are
Oh,
you doing giving it to me for? Give it straight to charity, dude, because otherwise I'm going
so
to.
you wouldn't want to make enough money to make YouTube your job?
Nah, it's more of a thing I just do for fun. I like
Mm.
working and earning money that way. And YouTube I do for fun. I do it. It's it's recommended, to get yourself doing something creatively. If you're not,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, there's some stuff I don't want to mention, but it's something you do to sort of get your peace of mind type deal, if you catch what I mean.
Yeah, it's cathartic. Yeah, I know, I know I sounded maybe kind of like weird earlier, kind of I don't know, business like ruthless businessman or something, but it is
Fucking
kind of
typical
like that too.
dragons.
There's more,
Fucking what we
well,
can't. Seriously.
pragmatism. You got to be pragmatic if you want to succeed in life. But it, it's not just doing things for views.
No.
Part of it is fun. Part of it is keeping yourself busy with something to do in your free time. Part of it is like getting to meet new people. I mean, if I had never started my YouTube channel, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Yeah,
You know.
it really is more than just like, oh, money, 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 or view. I mean, views. People say, oh, you're only doing it for views, and part of me wants to say, well, I mean, a bit of YouTube. The goal for YouTube is to fucking get views. That is the point. YouTube
Exactly, exactly.
exists. That is, no, I mean,
Yeah.
that's no argument there. That's just what it's for. But also, it's a
Hmm.
good way to it like chills you out when you're doing something creative. Like I'm sure artists, writers, and stuff can agree with me. Is that when you're doing something, if you're pissed off or you're feeling down, you do something creative. You're like, yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. Meeting people, I've met like a shitload of people.
Hmm.
Life experiences, all that kind of stuff. That's why I'm doing. I think it's fun, and I keep getting crazier, with my videos, and I'm enjoying the shit out of it. I'm like, I look back. I don't know, like even just 4 years, and I'm like, man, I would never be able to get on YouTube and do jack shit. So I said the same thing. Everyone says the same thing when they first start up. I don't even
Hmm.
expect to get like 10 subscribers. I kept me and a friend were like, at work, like, let's see who can make 10 subscribers first, because we just had such low expectancies. Like, oh, okay, so I made 10, and okay, let's see who gets to 20, and then 100, and then 200. And I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, yeah. No, it is surprising when you first start out. I remember starting out too, when I had like 15 subscribers because it was just my friends who I like pressured into subscribing to me.
I,
And I made that.
it's so much. It's
What's that?
fun. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it is
um,
fun. It's fun seeing those numbers go up. People say, oh, it's not all about the numbers, but it's like, yeah, but that's the fun part.
yeah. I mean, it sounds like we're saying we see numbers, but personally speaking, I want to get out there. I see people watching my stuff, and each time I think,
Hmm.
why is this, why is this idiot watching my stuff? I'm a fool. Why do you watch me?
Hmm.
I think um, a good point as well is he was making videos about general stuff. Just yeah, there was no real topic, there was no real groundwork for it. And with me, I was lucky. I'm in the furry fandom. That is the groundwork for what I can, build on top of it. It was furry based and
Oh,
community.
yeah.
Furry share stuff around, and that's what my audience is.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like, I have to, I made video after video, like, just thanking the furry community because that is the reason that I am or ever got off the ground in the first place because furries were just like, okay, I'll subscribe to you, I'll watch your videos. Like people who didn't even like my videos, but were just like, well, since you're a furry, I want to support furry YouTubers
Since you're a furry,
and
we feel
just.
fucking sorry for you. So, um,
Well, I don't know about that, but just part the community being like what other community will do that? What other community will
Minecraft
support
Let's Plays.
your like what's that?
Minecraft Let's Plays.
Minecraft Let's Plays.
Yeah, be a
Well, I
furry
mean,
Minecraft Let's Player, and you will fucking rake in the views like no other.
furry Minecraft Let's Player that talks about drama.
Yeah, it talks about drama and starts drama too.
Yeah, starts drama. Definitely got to start to be the drama starters.
Uh,
I guess we talked about morals. That is one thing that I don't really want to do is like start drama with people, even though it would get views. It's just kind of like there are alternatives to that are like better.
yeah,
I guess not better as in views, but better as in like more like I don't know morally better. Like I said, I don't know. It's hard because I said I throw out your morals, but then it's like I don't know. You can't always be so heartless. I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, one thing that may get in views is like a controversial opinion,
Hmm.
which I bet fucking Two Griffin knows all about that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
Well,
you
yeah, that's
you
what I
would
do
too.
too.
And I've
Hmm.
said my fair share of controversial things on my channel. And I don't do it because of the views. I just do it because I like exaggerating shit.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, it's, what's more entertaining, me sitting here and saying, oh, I don't like that suit very much, end of story, or me going on a rant about, oh, this, and this. It's more entertaining to see someone just go absolutely
Hmm.
fucking nuts. I mean, it's a bad
Yeah. Well, I
example,
mean,
but you get what I mean.
at the same time, like when you critique other people, like I did see your critique of Rage Hound. You're not really starting drama because I think most people know that it's just kind of like a silly thing. Like Rage Hound seemed to know that it was kind of a silly thing,
Yeah,
but at the same time, it is kind of a like dramatic thing. Like, oh, he's starting some beef. It's not serious,
yeah.
but it's
I
still
do
some
all
kind of
of
beef.
these with
So,
like the intent of just seeing if people can improve.
uh huh.
And I don't. It's it's weird. It's like I don't do it to start drama. I literally do it because, since Jesus Christ, like for the longest time, I've always been critical of things like movies, games,
Uh huh.
all that kind of stuff, and I've sort of brought a mix of it over here instead of doing it on a movie. I did one movie, and but
Hmm.
I like, oh, I can do it on channels, and part of it was inspired by Content Cop, so kinda inspired. It wasn't. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a tough one. That's why I try and be really ridiculous with my stuff. Like the Rage Hound one, part of me was still, because she asked for it. She messaged me personally and said, "Can you do one?" And I said, "Okay,
Oh,
yeah."
really?
I
Okay.
said, "Okay." And I did it. I made sure. Oh, what if people get angry? So I was like, I'm going to start off with
Hmm.
me. The intro is basically making fun of the people who think it's all to start drama. I
Hmm.
expressly say, I'm like, I need to jump into a time machine so Rage Hound gets drama. That's how this video will get views. Then I proceed to
Hmm.
put a bowl on my head, jump in a fridge, jump out, and then vomit. I as soon as I try to make it ridiculous to show. Look, this is all just. I mean, the criticisms are there of the stuff she can improve, and that stuff is true.
Hmm.
But also it's still, it's mostly just goofs. I walk in and I'm wearing like a trash bag, so I, it's pretty obvious that I'm not here to come out and be like really serious and I'm gonna get you. I think the only
Yeah, no, that's a good way to do it. That's one of the disadvantages I have is that since I don't like have a fursuit or show my face, I only have a limited number of like expressions with my character avatars. So it's hard sometimes to get across if I'm being like silly, you
silly
know?
or yeah, if you're just pulling a goof or if you're just being dead serious.
Hmm.
I mean I do it
But
practically when I'm um, especially recently. I'm like, I've noticed some people might take my stuff too seriously, and a lot of my stuff now is getting more and more wacky. So I was like, look, guys, it's
hmm
all just goofs. It's not to be taken seriously. It's if it's all exaggerated, hyperbolic entertainment. It's
right, yeah,
it's
and
like
that's a
when
good
you
way to
watch
do
South
content
Park, you
too.
don't think some of their humor is dead serious. That's what they think of the world. That's just how the entertainment is.
Yeah,
I think the
exactly.
only one I was actually pretty serious about, the one I really, really hate, and it's my second most popular video, is the Genesius video. Um,
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
because I thought you did see it, and I think you left a comment saying you wanted a critique, and I was like, oh, no. But
Oh, maybe. I'm sorry. How long ago was that? I don't
like
remember
nearly,
anything.
I mean, like
Yeah.
10 or 11 months ago. It's,
Okay, yeah. Oh, I don't feel bad for not remembering then.
It's it's like the one video where people may bring up as an example of like, oh, it's drama and stuff, and it's like when I did it, I didn't do it with the express intent of making drama, more of just a video as a kick in the balls to Genesius to sort of get his shit together. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's probably the
Yeah.
one I'm actually really disappointed in because I respect I did it when I was starting off, but I was way too
Hmm.
serious about it. It could have been so much more well constructed. It's one of those. It's besides the like one other video which I have privatized. It's like the one of the only videos I'm really disappointed in. I make good points, but just the way it's done is it's too serious. It's way too serious.
Yeah, I have a few videos I regret too. But we might have to talk about that at a later time. Because okay, so we're probably past the hour mark at this point. So is there anything that else you want to say, real quick before we wrap it up?
Kothrick sucks. Go subscribe to my channel. It's a lot better. Fuck this guy.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I agree.
can I do that though? Can I ask people if they want to subscribe, or am I not allowed to do that?
Oh yeah, do your do your
I just
thing.
like I don't want to
Yeah,
feel
like
like but yeah, if people can check out my channel, it's it's all goofs mostly, and my latest videos,
uh
especially my last couple, are insane. It's it, it's some weird shit. If you like iDubbbz or Max Mofo, you'll probably feel right at home.
Yeah, yeah, go check out his channel. I mean, like I laughed, especially you were talking about that video you did, Rage Hound. That made me laugh a couple of times, just how crazy it was.
Sweet. But yeah, Kothrick's videos, just give him dislikes, don't you? I'm kidding, don't.
Hey, as long as people are watching them,
Yeah,
I don't care if they,
yeah, give him the views.
I don't care if, yeah, I don't care if people are disliking my videos because that's a view. A dislike is a view, and that a view is better than a dislike. So it's a net gain.
Yeah, get that sweet revenue.
So yeah, I appreciate you coming on here. Thanks for talking to me. It was fun, and it sucks that I had to kind of cut you off there at the end because we could have probably kept talking for another hour. So maybe we'll do it again sometime.
I would love to do it again. I thought this was quite fun. I was a bit like I don't know how this is gonna go, but yeah, it's been pretty
Uh
general conversation. It's pretty sweet.
huh. Yeah, well, like I told you, like we didn't even have any topics, and we are like, what are we gonna talk about? I'm like, I don't know, we'll just wing it. And that's like
I'm a
90% of
very
the
yeah.
time that works fine.
I was gonna say that's more or less how I do my conversations. I'm like, what do you want to talk about? I don't know. And then when we start talking, it's like 2 hours later. I'm like, oh, well, that's the time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so thanks for being here. Um, everyone go check out Rysis' channel. I'll put a link in the description, and I will see you guys later.